Hey, welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe podcast. My name is Vince. Hopefully, you're having a good Tuesday because it's time for another podcast here on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and the YouTube. Yeah, I said the YouTube. Ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address where you can contact me to ask me questions or suggestions for the podcast. You can also do that via X, the Evil DM, or facebook.com/Evil Dungeon Master where you can send me a message. This one is today's message is from John P. And he sends in, Vince, can you talk about taverns and how to make taverns a little more interesting than just a faded background of nothingness? Thanks, John. So, all right, well, John, that is a good question because a lot of times taverns are used as throwaways. And what I mean by throwaways is just basically some place for the players to stop, get some food, get, a place to sleep for the night, and that's about it. And then generally, if you're going to have an adventure in the town, you may use it a little more often. When I did a campaign for World of Arcanus, I had the group basically in two towns the entire time of the first or second season of that show. You can listen to it on YouTube if you just look for it, or Spotify. And I had them running between different places, and there was always one tavern that they went to that the place was kind of family friendly atmosphere. It was a nice place to go, and they had really good killer buffalo wings, or wings with flavor sauce as we called them in the game. And the players always looked forward to going to that town because they stopped inside that tavern and always, had a moment to discuss their plans and ordered wings and, had their ale and wings every time. That was their favorite place to go. The music was nice, the atmosphere was good. I described it as being a family friendly place with a lot of laughter, lit up really well with some memorabilia on the wall of the fallen fighters of the land and things like that. That they loved this place to the point that they were a couple times they went back and they charged or they charged wings on one of the other characters tab, and it became a whole thing that the bartender was looking for this person, and it was kind of funny. But anyway, you can listen to all that when you want to, but different things you could do. You really want to see, the problem with putting a lot of effort into a tavern is that you're going to be using it for something for a time period. You could put as much flavor as you want into a tavern, but chances are the players are just going to ignore it and move on from there because they don't really care much about it. Try to get them involved. Try to have like a unique ambiance to it, and unique decor to the place. Have like a menu kind of written down. You can go various places online and just, do D&D tavern generators, and there are tons of them by just like looking at Google here. And then you can just click and it'll give you like the bartender, the waitress, the waiter, the people that clean the place, people that are sitting in the bar to give you ideas, even a full menu of the bar that the players can look at just to get an idea of an actual real tavern experience. You can also flesh out some of the characters in the tavern too and describe them. That'll give the players a little bit more of, maybe I should look around or something. Um, there was an idea of a long time ago that we had this. I had one of these like gambling things going on, so the players didn't want to partake in it because they didn't want to gamble, but I described it as there was, a little dwarf in the corner of the tavern, and he had a table, and he was running this dice game. And if you wanted to join the game, it was 50 gold. And then I would roll some dice, and I would explain to them that you have to roll some dice and you have to beat certain rolls. And then you would get certain prizes. And certain prizes range from you would get gold, your money back, you'd lose, you'd get like a very small magical item such as like a +1 weapon or maybe a potion or something. And, it was like an excitement. It was kind of like looking at a craps table in Vegas, so to speak, with the excitement. They didn't want to participate in it, But it was there, and they did attempt to watch it for a few minutes and just kind of get an idea what to do. There's so many you can add in, a bard that sings tales, and maybe even a bard that's telling a joke or a poem or something to give flavor in the background. Is much even as little as the place when you walk in, you feel the warmth of the fire, and you could smell the chicory that's being used inside the fireplace. As you walk in, it permeates throughout the room and leaves a wonderful smell inside your lungs. And anybody who sits in there for a few minutes, you can say you feel invigorated and you're ready to run back out there and continue adventuring after a very tired day. Your bones feel better, things like that. You get a drink from the place, you feel very, very, your dehydration is gone, you feel invigorated, and you're ready to run back out. Things like that. The bartender is extra nice. He goes out of his way. You can put flavor into NPCs. Again, the problem with doing all this is that you don't know how your players are going to act, and you don't know if they're ever going to come back to this particular tavern ever again. They could just be in, out, and done, and that's the end of it, and all that work you put into it is for nothing. Or you put no work into it, and they want to explore every inch and crevice of the tavern. You never know. My idea of taverns are to give a little bit of a description of the tavern, enough that they have an idea what the place looks like and what NPCs are there. As far as the work that I put into it, that's fine. I'll put some work into taverns in case they ask questions about NPCs. And if they don't, I'll just move it to another tavern. Because when they ask there, I'll have the information ready. I'll just change the names. So if they descriptions, I'll change descriptions. I'll have various descriptions ready just in case they ask. Different types of music I'll have. All these things are written down and can easily be moved to another tavern. So if you do a lot of work, pour a lot of thing into it, got a lot of rumors and stuff like that, and they don't bother doing anything whatsoever, you can always move it to another tavern in another town. It's not a big deal. Think of it just like when they design a dungeon and they have the big bad in the dungeon, and the players immediately figure out how to maneuver the dungeon to that room right away because you thought you'd be clever and put them, say, on the left side and thinking, yeah, they'll go the easy route on the right, and they go directly to your big bad. Just move him. Just move the big bad. There's nothing that says you can't do that. Move the big bad to another side of the dungeon. Oh, well, big bad moves around. It's not going to just stand in one place the entire time. Same thing with the tavern. Rumors could be moved. Yeah, they'll have to be adjusted. If you have an entire land going on or an entire continent, and there's rumors of a dragon in a tower, that dragon tower could be moved. Rumor could be moved to another tavern, and it could describe how far away it is in further distance. And then maybe there's some localized to the town. Well, those could stay with the town, but maybe you could translate them for the other town as well. Yeah, a lot of this work is going to be you on the fly as a DM changing things around, but that's what you have to do as a DM. You have to adapt to what your group does. If you play with your group long enough, you kind of get an idea of what they're going to do and how they're going to act when they go certain places. And I know with my group how they're going to act when they go to certain places and what they're going to ask for. So I have these things ready. And then when the time that they want to be like jerks, because sometimes there's one player in the group that likes to be a jerk, he likes to over ask things on purpose to annoy me to make sure I have it down. I will have all the information ready for him. And yes, I'm calling him a jerk because he does it on purpose and he laughs. He'll ask, what exactly is he wearing? What type of mustache is it? He'll do things like that just to annoy me. But I'll have all the information ready because I'm used to it by now and I laugh. Anyway, tell me what you think about taverns, how you would make taverns a little bit more interesting in your campaigns. It doesn't have to be a tavern. It could even be just be a bar in a modern game. I mean, even a bar in a modern game, when you go to a bar, there's always going to be some type of little quirk about the bar. If it's like a mom and pop bar or it's like a corporate chain bar, there's going to be some type of theme going on. It could be a local bar in your area that's an Irish bar, an Italian bar. They're going to have something that makes them stand out. And that's what you want to do with taverns. You want to make them stand out just enough that the players are interested in what's going on there and possibly explore it a little. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless, and keep those AD&D fires lit. Good night, everybody.